with the Geekiary. I'm Erin. I'm here with my fellow hosts, Tara and Vaughn. We've been gone, but we're back because we're fans. We have feelings, and this is where we webcast about them. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so first off, friendly reminder that this is also a podcast. So please subscribe to us on iTunes so you don't miss any of our feelings. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, remember that this is recorded live, so we're not exactly sure what's going to happen. So please forgive us any technical difficulties or accidental swears, especially this week because I am on a lot of pain and flu medication. You can join the conversation with the hashtag GeekiaryFeelings, because if you don't tell us we're wrong, we won't know.
We just think we're right.
Yeah. And we'd also like to remind all of you that the views expressed on this webcast are those of the hosts as individuals and not necessarily representing the Geekiary or the webcast itself as a whole.
Yay!
Good job.
Obviously, the first thing we have to talk about is our favorite topic in the entire world, which is hashtag Hairgate. Has Kit Harington cut his hair yet? This is what people are waiting for.
I actually think there were a couple more, sightings of him in Northern Ireland. And I also heard that, and this is, I'm just going to lump this in with Hairgate because there was an article about, oh gosh, I can't remember his name, but the guy who plays Sandor Clegane being cited as well. And not just in Northern Ireland, but with people from the show.
They're just visiting friends. They're just really close.
They're really close.
Hashtag not dead.
Hashtag dead. Jon Snow is dead. Hashtag.
It's funny because, on Facebook, if you're friends with any of us, all we do is just share articles about Game of Thrones crazy theories. It's all we do.
Yeah, even Angel has joined in on it, and every once in a while we'll somehow find an article before the rest of us who are on regular East Coast time, and make sure that we all get tagged in it.
Well, I've written in the thing that, and I don't know why I wrote this, but my brother has hair like Kit Harington's, and he just cut it all off, so that could be foreshadowing that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you have foreshadowing in real life, but I like to imagine that you do.
I like it. Is he a Game of Thrones fan? Because that makes it.
Kind of, I guess. I don't know. He just decided to cut all his hair off, so I'm like, I think it's going to be a thing now. Guys with curly hair are going to cut it all off, just because Jon Snow is actually dead.
I think it would almost be funny if he did cut his hair or had cut his hair, and it turned out that they wrote a storyline into the show where the men in the Night's Watch who killed him. The men in the Night's Watch who killed him chopped off all of his hair because they were jealous of it or something. It's like Samson. They thought it was his strength.
Yeah, that's the problem. The real problem in the whole Night's Watch wasn't any of the leadership drama. It was just that they were all jealous of his hair.
Exactly. I mean, look at it.
It's beautiful.
That kind of reminds me, I'm sorry about the tangent here, but did you guys ever watch Lost?
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of the one episode that they wrote about Jack's tattoos that weren't actually the character's tattoos, they were the actor's tattoos. It's like they wrote the actor's tattoos into the storyline.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Well, that is a lot of tattoos
once
to cover up, but did it really need an entire episode?
Yeah, they did that on Teen Wolf when Tyler Posey got a tattoo. They wrote it in so that they didn't have to cover it every time.
I mean, but it's one thing to write in a tattoo that a character or that an actor gets and just be like, oh yeah, so and so this character went and got a tattoo. It's another thing to make half an episode explaining the stories behind these tattoos that the actor already had. Honestly, as somebody with tattoos and as somebody who has chosen all of my tattoos very carefully, that's almost insulting.
I suppose, yeah. It's no, that's not the reason I chose it, and then everyone's going to think that that's the reason for ever.
And I'm guessing that wasn't like whatever they said, and I don't remember all the meaning behind it or whatever, but I'm guessing that had nothing to do with why the actor actually had them.
Oh God, that was such a stupid episode. It had like Bai Ling in it. Do you remember that? Oh, it was so terrible.
To be honest, like I watched all of Lost through once. I tried to rewatch it like last year, and like I'm living by myself and I'm watching this show and I'm getting kind of like it was like I watched the first season, the first couple episodes of the second season, and a few times I got a little bit like creeped out, and I was like, I don't think I want to. Like, I know where this show goes. I kind of don't want to watch this by myself at night. I don't live in the best neighborhood either, so.
Yeah, I wasn't a Lost fan. I'm still not a Lost fan. So. Okay, so next topic we have we're asking for money.
Yeah. What's new? How do we pronounce this? Is it Patreon?
I think it's Patreon. I have no idea. I was hoping one of you guys would know. To be honest, that's why I didn't want to say it.
I think it's Patreon, yeah. So Patreon is a website where instead of being like Kickstarter or GoFundMe or whatever, or Indiegogo, where you're raising funds for like a specific one-time thing, Patreon is literally for people to, be patrons of, online content. And we started an account. I'm not even going to read the link out loud because it's weird, but if you go to Patreon and search for the Geekiary, you'll probably find it.
I just posted it on the Twitter, so it's there.
Okay. All right, good, because yeah, it's like a nonsense link. But anyway, so the first thing that we're doing is an interactive webcast with the admin. Angel will be part of it, and I will probably be as well. So we're trying to raise $100 per month, and this will be in addition to our webcast, our monthly webcast. We'll host a special interactive one with Angel and probably me, probably one or both of you guys, possibly some guest hosts, and it'll be like an entirely fan-driven content webcast. So yeah, visit us on Patreon. You can find the link on our Twitter. Thank you, Vaughn, and hopefully we'll be able to get that kickstarted.
Yay!
And so in other news.
Yeah, I've just written Harry Potter stuff because there's so much happening in the Harry Potter fandom that I can't actually believe it on account of like these books ended 7 years ago, 8 years ago now, and the movies were 5 years ago. So I honestly thought that was the end of the Harry Potter fandom, and it just keeps on going. Thank you, JK.
Dude, like, the movies weren't even 5 years ago. The last one came out the summer 2011, so it was like not even 4.5 years ago at this point. Like, but regardless, yeah, I kind of thought it was done and over with, especially since she kept saying she was done with it.
Yeah.
But now they've optioned, or then they optioned Fantastic Beasts, which I'm
hoping the kind of first images and the kind of synopsis for like this week.
I am just so excited for a Hufflepuff hero. Like, so excited.
That's pretty exciting. I mean, I'm still kind of trepidous because, like, I mean, obviously it's so very white.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
And, I mean, when I was younger, I had, like, a higher tolerance for stories about straight white dudes, and I just don't anymore.
Well, to be fair, like, I mean, the students in, like, the other students in Harry Potter were fairly, like, especially for when the books were published, Harry Potter did have a decent amount of people of color as positive characters, but especially for when the books came out. But yeah, I'm really not happy with this Muggle thing either. So
you don't like the name? You don't like what is it?
Nomad.
Nomad.
Like, I don't want it. I don't want it at all.
I think it works. I like that. I mean, I feel like it feels like a very 20s kind of slang word.
I guess like
And I feel like, you know,
I just don't care for the fact that
slang and
America
like stuff like that
they have to
changes.
have this new weird slang.
Well,
But I
I
don't
didn't
think
so much think it was American as like think of it as like a time thing. Like I feel like that would change.
Oh, the article I read put it as like it's she said it was like the I mean, and this could be wrong, but the article I read like specifically said, possibly even in the title if I remember correctly, that it was like she came out saying this was the American word for muggle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but I think that's fair. I mean, you guys have different words for stuff. Like the slang is very different compared
I know.
between.
I just don't like the word that she chose. It seems I don't like it.
I think it's fitting for the time period. I'm not sure that it would work like if it was a contemporary story of wizards in America, but it feels very 1920s. I like that. And you know, I mean, I like JK's like I love her, God love her, but she's not great like with the subtlety of her like naming stuff and her language, which is actually something that I always loved about Harry Potter because it was kind of really twee and cutesy and just like everything is exactly what it means. Like she named a character Werewolf McWerewolf that is a werewolf.
Yeah. Well, I mean, both Remus Lupin and Fenrir Greyback.
Yeah, yeah. You know, she's not subtle, and that's fine. And this kind of fits with that. Like no magic. Like you know, it basically says like that person does not have magic.
Oh, JK. How could she be so clever about so many things? And it's like sometimes she just gave up.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's not like she tried. It's not like parts of it like the language are really well done. It's like all of it is just really obvious. So it's just a thing that's part of.
I will say while we're talking about this that I went back to Wizarding World of Harry Potter over the weekend. And I'd been once before, right after it opened, when it was insanely crowded. And I only went to Islands of Adventure, so I only went to Hogsmeade. I didn't go to the new part. I'll be going there probably beginning of the year or so. But yeah, I went back for the first time in 5 years. There was like nobody in the park that day because they were all over at Universal because it was the day before Halloween, so they were all going to Halloween Horror Nights. So there were no waits for anything. The shops, you know, they're tiny, so they got a little crowded at times. But like Becca and I literally, who's, you know, the girl who writes for the Geekiary, we literally went to the park, went to Hogsmeade, went to Jurassic Park for a little while, went back to Hogsmeade. We spent about 7 hours at the park, and I would say 5.5 of it was spent in Hogsmeade. Mostly just, we only rode one ride. Most of it was just wandering around, taking pictures, hanging out in the Hogshead. Head. It was great. I felt like, especially since I just reread the books, I felt like, I loved it so much. They did such a good job. I'm very like in Harry Potter mode right now.
No, I would say that's one thing that all three of us are. We are all three really big into Harry Potter. So.
Yeah, well, I mainly don't trust people that are not into Harry Potter.
Oh, I gave my niece the first book for her birthday.
Oh.
So she's 9, so I thought maybe she was a little bit young for some of the later stuff. Like, I was even a little bit worried about book 2 with the whole Ginny possession thing because she's 9.
Book 2 is terrifying.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll give her book 1. We'll see how it goes. And then, you know, maybe next year we'll try the next couple.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're really better off like spreading it out. Like I know because they're all out now, kids kind of want to read the whole lot, but I think especially the older books, the later books are not appropriate
for a 9-year-old. No, I mean,
No.
Honestly, I was like 15 when the first Harry Potter book was published, and my high school boyfriend's mom was reading it, and I was like, why is your mom reading a kid's book? Ugh. Because I thought I was all smart and everything, reading Jane Austen and Charlotte Bronte, and like I refused to read anything other than the classics. I was like, his mom wanted me to read some Oprah's book club book, and I was like, ugh, trendy mainstream fiction.
Oh no, I'm so cool.
Exactly. But like then my sister got like the first 4 books for her birthday about in like 2001 I think it was, and she was like, I don't read. I don't want these. So I was like sitting in her room one day like talking to her, and I picked up the first book and I started reading, and I read the first 2 pages and I was hooked like immediately.
That opening line is still like my all-time favorite opening line of a book ever. Like, Mr. and Mrs. Bentley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say that they are perfectly normal. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole like first chapter was
It's just so good.
It's all, and I got my niece the movie too, but I told my sister, I was like, you have got to make her read the book. I don't care that she isn't big on reading yet, whatever. I don't care. I don't care if you sit her down at night and like read a couple chapters to her. She has to like read this book. It is there are things that movie could never capture. And I'm not just talking about the things they left out. I'm talking about the general tone of it.
Yeah, no. I think it's important that kids read Harry Potter. Harry Potter is an important thing.
And I saw
I don't read. I just don't like it. My reading comprehension is terrible. It's always been that way. Even when I was a kid, I hated reading, whatever. But Harry Potter, I mean, I've read them all at least probably a dozen or 2 dozen times. I love them so much. Yeah. Anyone can read them.
Just finished.
They're so accessible.
I just finished rereading them all, and I want to say, I mean, I've read the first few way more times than I've read like the last couple, but I mean, that was at least my like 5th complete series reread, I think, and I've read the first couple like probably 10 times each, if not more. But
they're just so once a year.
They're so good.
Reread them all once a year.
It takes like a few weeks, maybe a month, to reread all of them. They're so good.
I know I have heaps of other things to do, but every year I pull them out and I'm like, I'm going to reread it. I want to. I love it.
And I still cry. I still cry.
Oh my God.
Over so many things. Like, I still, like, Dobby's death. I think this time, like, reading it this time, even though I've read it so many times before and everything, and I cry every time, like, this time, I was sobbing for, like, before I even knew it happened, I was crying. And then I was like, I couldn't stop crying, like, even long after they buried him, every time Harry thought of Dobby. And then again, when Aberforth brings him up, I'm like,
I'm going to cry just, like, thinking about it, so.
That's so anyway, that's the like, saddest part of the films, too. Like, with hands down. In my opinion.
So, moving on before I actually start crying and then emotions overwhelm us.
So did any of us pay attention to the cursed child stuff?
Oh, yeah, I got tickets.
See, I signed up for the pre-sale thing, but like I have no way. I'm probably not going to be able to go to England next summer, so yeah, I didn't bother buying them.
Yeah, I did. I'm like, I know, I don't know how I'm going to pull it, but I will. I figure out how to get back there, and I'm going to see it.
Well, you can just fly to England and go see that, and then fly to the U.S. from England because, like, you know, we're way closer than going all the way back to Australia.
Yeah, that's a good plan. I will just fly all around the world all the time.
Can you also like record that and then let us watch it?
Yes, yes, because I'm really sure that like Warner Brothers is gonna let me do that.
I know, I'm just kidding.
The tickets weren't even that expensive, so I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying them. But if it had been next week, I would have bought them, but I just didn't have the money.
It'll tour.
Yeah, but seeing it in London, though.
I know. All right, so Crimson Peak. Did you guys see it? I saw it. I know Erin saw it.
Yeah, I saw it twice.
I haven't, but I'm not a horror movie fan, and I'm not a huge Tom Hiddleston fan. So.
Okay,
like,
first of all,
I don't dislike him. I'm just not a big Tom Hiddleston fan.
It's not horror.
No, it's gothic.
Okay.
It's not. And, you know, it's funny because all through the film, our protagonist, Edith, is talking about how, well, she's a writer, and she's writing this story, and everybody calls it a ghost story. And she's like, no, it's not a ghost story. It's a story with ghosts in it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how Crimson Peak is as a film. It's just a film with ghosts in it. So
I loved it. Like, I just, yeah, because I'm a huge Gothic horror fan, and I've read, I've read all of the books. I used to read them when I was young, and I still love it. And it was like a perfect Gothic horror. Like, it just did everything right, and it's the kind of story that you don't really see too often, like, because they never take those kind of stories seriously. They're trying to turn them into jokes. And I still think that there's room to tell a serious Gothic romance.
Well, and Tom Hiddleston really played a fairly minor role. I mean, he was one of the major three characters, but I mean, it was more focused on Edith and Lucille more so.
I mean,
than
for
his
real,
character.
he was the most boring character. Not that he was a bad character, but he was the least interesting character in.
Yeah, I agree.
In the movie. I mean, he's beautiful, and he did it well. He played it well.
Yes.
Especially the part when they have sex and he takes all his clothes off and she doesn't.
That was amazing.
There is no female nudity, and he just Hiddle's butt everywhere. It was really good.
I was really surprised that there wasn't any female nudity. I really thought she was going to strip down more, but she didn't.
It was great. It was great.
Good.
And even the way that the camera filmed it and stuff, the way that he was shot is the way that girls are usually shot in sex scenes.
Mhm. And it was super sensual. It was still pretty hot, even though there was lots of clothing still on.
So yes, 100% would recommend you go see Crimson Peak, and read Erin's review of it. It was good.
I probably wouldn't go see it, even if I wouldn't go see it in the theater, but maybe I'll.
You have to see it in the theater.
Watch it.
Visually, you have to see it on the big screen. It's so good.
Honestly, you want to know how I saw? I've seen 3 movies in the theater this year. That is a record for me already. I don't think I've been to the movies more than 5 times in a year since I can even remember, ever. Maybe since high school, probably, I guess. I'm just not a big movie theater person.
I love the movies.
I don't like movie theaters, man. I want to be, I would pay prime dollar to watch a movie that just came out, today, in my house. I would. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch it on my comfortable couch on my big TV with my surround sound system and my cozy pets.
See, we have this movie theater here that it's like a brewery. It's a brew
Oh my God,
pub.
that's amazing.
And so they you have this really comfortable seat, and you have a table that kind of pulls out towards you, and they have a full menu, and they brew their own beer. And there's brunch with $2 mimosas. So, yeah.
That sounds excellent.
I feel like I need to come visit you just to visit this thing.
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty amazing.
Des Moines is pretty hip, okay?
That's always what I think. I think, yeah, super hip.
Yeah.
I'll go just about anywhere, and I've never been to Iowa, and it's a state I have to check off my list. So.
Wow. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's all go and go to the movies.
I would have no reason to go if Erin didn't live there, because I think you're the only one I know who does.
All right. So I've got the next thing is just a list of all this stuff that has happened that I wanted to talk about, and I have no idea. The first is that Deadpool has been officially. Well, the director has revealed that he's officially pansexual.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, cool, because I know that that's something that a lot of people were worried about, and the last official word was that they weren't going that way. I mean, I doubt that anything happens in the movie, but...
Right. But maybe it could. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things
but it
that,
could.
yeah. It's like pansexuality and, well, like, yeah, non-binary sexualities are hard to display in movies because there's such a limited amount of time.
Yeah. Maybe it'll just be like side comments and stuff, but then with how like snarky and everything Deadpool is, it concerns me that they'll make it into a joke rather than an actual.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's how he would do it, like just make snarky comments about hot dudes, but you never know. But it's cool that they've come out and said that, and there's writing all these articles about it, and like people, as like you said, people are having to figure out what pansexual means, which is, you know, something that is always good. It's always good to get people talking about things that they don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if it means more acceptance of a thing, you know.
Yeah. So, and he's a superhero. I mean, he's not your conventional superhero, but he's good. It's way better than it's probably what they should have done with Constantine.
I like really like Deadpool. I really do. I've always just enjoyed him and his grossness and his sense of humor and everything. Being like a cosplayer and going to conventions has made me kind of like ugh about that aspect of it, because like Deadpool has become synonymous with like just cosplayers who dress up in a Deadpool costume and put stupid stuff over and act like assholes, which I kind of it's become so uber popular that it's like it's kind of it's just beyond. It's like worse than Elsa.
Yeah, no, Deadpool as a cosplay is, I think a bit overdone. But I always like Deadpool as a character.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're making the movie. So I'm excited. And I'm glad that he's pansexual, even if it's not like officially stated in the movie.
Yeah, I mean they announced it, so at least it is a thing regardless of whether or not anything happens.
Yeah. Word of God has said he is pansexual. Shut up, fanboys.
Yes.
All right, so the next thing I have is that One Direction finished their tour, which is their last tour before they go on their break, and I'm really sad about it. Aww. So I just wanted to say that.
I think I heard one of their songs, their more recent ones, on the radio like last week, and I was like, oh, this is that One Direction band that I love so much. These are those One Direction boys.
Those One Direction boys, yeah.
I'm so old. I'm sorry. They're just like.
I'm so old. I'm way too old to be into a boy band. Especially like every time I remind myself that the oldest one of them is 23. So man. What else? Oh, speaking of young things, like so. Over the last month, one of the big things that happens was Justin Bieber, like, nudes leaked. And I wanted to ask what you guys thought, because, like, literally, I woke up one morning to about 1,000 messages from people just sending me these pictures. And I'm like, okay.
So what does it say about me that I didn't even know this happened?
Really? You need
no idea.
No, maybe I need different friends. I don't know. One of us is wrong.
I saw, I heard about it. I did not click on the links because I'm not interested.
Yeah, I just,
I'm not interested in seeing what he looks like. I am interested in the idea behind how and why there are nude pictures of Justin Bieber floating around.
Well, it was packed, I think. He was in like a resort just walking around and naked outside. I mean, it does kind of suggest that maybe, album promo, but I don't know. I don't like Justin Bieber as a person on account of he's kind of a dick, and he's not really, mainly I have a problem with him because he's not great to his fans, and that's the only thing I really, really care about as far as that's concerned. But, at the same time, I'm like, if this was a girl, everyone would be like, don't look at it, you know?
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
He's still super young, and I'm like, is this okay? You know, are we basically creating a monster, like, by doing this?
I mean,
so young when he became famous.
I guess it depends. What were the circumstances behind these nudes, like, popping up on the internet? Did he release them? Like, did he
No.
like let them out? Okay, so then absolutely it's not okay. No, it's not
Yeah.
okay. It doesn't matter what, I mean, even outside of how young he was when he like hit the scene or whatever, and the fact that he is like over age now, if he didn't put them out there, then that is just as bad as the woman's pictures being leaked against her will.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like I think it would be
I know, I
wrong.
100% agree, yeah.
I think
I
it would be
just,
wrong to say otherwise. Like if a person doesn't put that shit out there like of their own accord, uh, no.
yeah, yeah.
I'm very
But
opinionated about these
no,
things.
that's the 100. It's just like the whole internet started talking about it, and I'm just like, I'm not sure, and no one was really having that kind of ethical conversation because it just like everyone kind of just assumed that it was okay.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know about this, but now I'm all worked up about it. Damn it.
Sorry, I'm upset.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's not it's like it's whatever. I'm not like it's not gonna like ruin my evening or anything. I
I'm
just feel
really,
I don't
really
know.
worried about Justin Bieber's.
Anyway, so moving on from Justin Bieber, it's National Novel Writing Month.
Yay!
And Erin, are you participating or is it just Vaughn and I?
No, sorry, no. I have
That
a
was a
lot
very
of
no. Like no.
yeah, I have a lot of stuff going on in my personal life right now, and you know, I thought about doing it after last year, but I just don't have time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, to be honest, that was like last year I started doing it when I shouldn't have because I didn't have time and I wasn't in like I had so much going on. I wasn't in like the mental or like I didn't have the time and I also wasn't in like the mental state to really be able to accomplish something like that. And I started it anyway and then I couldn't finish and I felt horrible about myself. But I'm doing it this year and I started 2 days late and I caught up finally for the first time yesterday. I like broke the daily like word goal by like a couple hundred words, and then today I think the goal today was like 8,333 and I have like 8,500 and something. So right now I'm okay. I
I
think I
think
can do this.
I think I'm hovering at about 7,000. I'm behind, but I was on a plane for 24 hours, so
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even start until I think I started Monday night. So, and it was like
yeah.
late too. I
Oh,
mean, it was like 8:30 before I even at night before I even started, and I didn't actually make the par word goal until yesterday. So,
I'll get there. I'll get there. It'll be fine. Are you enjoying it at least?
um, yeah, like for the most part, uh, I just like we were talking about this earlier before the webcast started. Like, I am a slow writer. I don't know how these people start Nano and like 5 days in have like 3 times the number of words necessary, like or more. It took me 4 hours today to write like 17 or 1900 words, I think, is what I wrote today. So it took me 4 hours to do that. I don't know how people.
I have different days. Like on some days I can write like 5,000 words in a few hours, and some days it'll like take me a whole day to write 500. So
Yeah.
I don't.
I
Yeah,
mean, and
I do really do the.
I mean, I get spurts too, where I'll write like 600 words in like half an hour, but then the next 200 words will take me like 2 hours. I just wish I had more oomph or something. So anyway,
Let's
good
finally
luck.
move on to what I know you guys really want to talk about.
Yeah, good luck to everybody doing National Novel Writing Month. We'll talk about it again when it's over.
Yeah.
And now, drum
The
roll.
Walking.
Oh, The
okay.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, let's talk about The
Go.
Walking Dead. Um, well, first of all, you know, I'm one of those people. I don't get really upset about writing choices generally. I mean, but when I do get upset, I get pretty upset.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And The Walking Dead has kind of upset me with this whole Glenn thing. So if you haven't watched it, you should probably turn this webcast off right now and watch it later, because we're going to spoil a lot of stuff.
Honestly, let's be fair. Within like less than 24 hours, I'd seen 3 articles from major news websites on my Facebook feed mentioning in the title of the article that Glenn was dead. And like somebody got upset because granted, hindsight's 2020. I shouldn't have used the title that I used on the article I wrote about it, but mine was like going on 48 hours, I think, from when maybe it was 24. It was like right at 24 hours after the episode aired, and somebody got upset about it, and it's kind of like, dude, if you're a big Walking Dead fan, how have you not seen, and if you have any friends who are, how have you not seen this all over your newsfeed?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't mind spoilers, so I don't really care. I was just trying to be nice. Let's keep going. All right. So, Glenn, we don't know if he's dead or not, but the showrunners are having a really fun time watching us all freak out about it, and that is what I'm not okay with.
I'm honestly not okay with either outcome.
I agree.
I'm not okay with it if he's dead, because if he is, that's a shitty way to kill off an awesome character. Like, I'm not okay with it if he's alive, because what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
There's that
That's just
not accidental swear.
No, it is, this whole thing is 100% the showrunners messing with the fans. I mean, that is what it is. And if you think that it's a bold choice by the writers, you're wrong. It's not. It's not bold. It's a way to get ratings. It's a way to get people talking about it. I mean, there is no other reason for it. The way that and like Tara said, if they would have killed him off, okay, fine. Then why did you do like this big long statement on the Talking Dead? Like, why would you do that? I mean, obviously he's not dead. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said anything.
So you think it's like a little bit exploitative of the fandom?
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's such a favorite character.
And to be honest, like, I almost kind of wonder, because there was a pretty big contingent of people who like refused to believe that Beth was dead. And I'm almost wondering if they are capitalizing on that, but they're like the things that they did that made it pretty obvious that she was dead, like including her in the in memoriam and leaving her name in. It's like they included her in the in memoriam, but then they left her name in the credits, like the rest, like for 2 more episodes.
Well, and that's the thing. The credits thing is I think the thing that is bugging me the most. And okay, so they removed Stephen Yoon's name from the credits this past week, which, okay, whatever. Apparently they did that with Melissa McBride back in season 3, I think it was, when she was missing in the prison. Okay, well that was another. I mean, that was another clear exploitation of fans. But when you think about it, okay, a lot of these actors.
I think that was less so, because it was so much sooner, and to be honest, like, it was more of like a, I don't know.
I don't think it was as impactful as something happening to Glenn. At least back then, Carol was still kind of coming into her own as a character, and so I would have considered her still more of a minor character then at that point. But that same season, when they killed off the character Lori, Sarah Wayne Callies, I mean, her name remained in the credits for the remainder of the season. Now, if that was contracted, that's one thing. You can assume that was. But why would, I mean...
She was still appearing, like, Rick was, like, he was, like, seeing her.
Okay.
He saw her, he was hallucinating her, and he like had the phone thing where he was like talking to her on the phone. That was her voice on the phone. So like, I think that, I think I understand her name remaining in it regardless. Excuse me, cat. But yeah, it's like we did that poll, and we had like several hundred votes, like, which is not bad for a poll that we were kind of afraid to push the poll because we didn't want to like spoil too many people, and like it was only up for a week, but 58% of the people who voted think he's still alive, 33% are on the fence, and about 9% think he's dead. So, like,
well, I think that makes sense. I mean, statistically, if you're looking at the way like this has been handled and the way that like character deaths are usually handled, they don't do this. They don't do the "are they dead?" unless they're not dead. Like,
right.
If you get to the end of this and he's actually dead, the reaction against that is going to be insane.
Yeah, well, and I completely agree, and that's why I think that the whole statement on the Talking Dead was so, oh God, it was so lame. I just wanted to like go through my screen and just be like, what are you doing to your fans? These are the people that pay your bills. Like, come on, don't do this to us.
Oh, I was so annoyed with what's his name? Chris Hardwick. I called him a smug Ryan Seacrest wannabe.
That is a really accurate description of Chris Hardwick, but okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought so. I also just remembered to turn my little bar thing on the bottom on Comey. Totally. It's been a month and a half. I totally forgot it. But I mean, and the other thing is, like, it's not just the problem. I mean, the biggest issue is the whole like tricking the fans thing and like whatever. But like this past episode, the one from this past Sunday, I mean, it had its issues, but overall, it was actually a pretty freaking amazing episode. Like the way they talked about mental illnesses and PTSD, like from somebody who's been diagnosed with PTSD, it was good. Like it was so, like, the episode as a whole had its issues. Don't get me started with the whole like how they have to show that Morgan's going crazy with the weird blurry edges around the screen. It's so heavy-handed and ridiculous. But that episode lost so much oomph because it was placed right after this episode where we lost Glenn. Nobody cared because they're all wondering where the hell Glenn is.
Yeah, especially that it was 90 minutes. I mean, it was an extended episode, which made it worse.
And it was, but, to be honest, like, not at one point during the episode was I bored. Again, I had my issues with it, but if that episode had been before the Glenn one, or like if they'd had a couple more episodes where we're at least seeing what's going on with everybody like back in Alexandria and they're trying to find Glenn or they're doing something, and then they put that episode. It was a great episode, and I'm glad they have that episode, but not where it was. It just it lost so much of what it could have given us because of when it was placed in the season. That's upsetting.
No, I agree with you, and I sometimes watch The Talking Dead, not the whole thing. I usually only watch like the first 15 minutes or so, like the first segment. But I was so angry at stupid David Lindelof. Ugh. He was the writer for Lost, which, again, this is another Lost reference. I hated that show. Ugh. 6 years down the drain. Ugh. Anyway, of course, David Lindelof is there, and he's like talking about how it's really brave for the writers to kill off a major character in order to advance the storyline. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, killing off Glenn at this point does not do anything to further anyone's storyline. It's pandering. And plus, like, if there is one character that I really think that they should never, ever, ever kill off, it's Glenn. And I realize that he dies in the comics, whatever. But on the TV show, you can keep him alive. You can do whatever you want. But the reason is that he should stay safe. Glenn is like the moral compass. He is the real person. He's the one character on that show that I think pretty much everyone identifies with more than any other character in the cast. And so killing him off is just, it's a terrible idea.
I almost think, I could be wrong, but I almost think that there was like one of the comic writers or not Kirkman, maybe it may have been Kirkman, but I almost think there was somebody like heavily involved with the comics who said that they thought Glenn's death in the comics was a mistake. I could
I've not
be
read
wrong.
the comics, so I don't really know. But
I mean, I have, and like his death was horrifying, and like I didn't ever really think twice about it being a mistake or not. But like I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that somebody that was like actually involved with the comic said that it was. I'd have to look it up. I could be wrong, but kind of hope I'm not, because then that would make the show killing him off now, if that's what they've done, like even worse. Don't get rid of Steven yet.
I'm having a hard time like trying to verbalize my feelings right now. So I'm really sorry if it just sounds like gibberish. I'm just.
I feel that.
And normally I don't get this passionate about it, but I'm so mad at the showrunners right now. I just can't even. I can't even. Blah.
No, I've been like going back and forth between I'm so angry, and okay, no, I've got to just not care. I've got to just not care. But I do care, because as much as this show screws up a lot, it's like one of the last TV shows I'm still actually actively enjoying, and like I just don't want to lose that, because like between this and iZombie are the only things I like watch now. Okay, really.
They're both zombie shows.
Well, to be fair, like it's because Game of Thrones isn't like, whenever Game of Thrones comes back, I'll be watching it, whatever. But it's like I gave up like really watching Arrow. Like I haven't watched it at all this season.
I haven't watched it either.
I'm going to, like, I have grand plans to, but rewatching Gilmore Girls is more important right now.
So important.
Anyway.
Okay, let's move on from The Walking Dead, but please do share with us on Twitter or whatever your thoughts about The Walking Dead, because we really do want to know. The Walking Dead is something that we do analyze on the Geekiary, and so we want to know what you think. Do you agree with me, or do you not agree with me?
I think
if you agree with you, then you're agreeing with me too. We seem to be on the same page here.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
All right. So, Star Wars, you guys! We've had all sorts of pictures and trailers, and tickets went on sale. Did you guys buy your tickets? I bought my tickets.
Yes, I did.
No.
What?
I'm really freaking excited about the fact that my theater is doing reserved seating. So, like, I have a ticket to a 7 p.m. showing, the first showing on the day it opens, and I can walk up to the theater 20 minutes or so before the movie starts and sit in my assigned seat, and it's a good seat.
You guys don't have assigned seats?
Not normally, no.
But at the brewery theater, there are assigned seats.
Of course there are, but like, I mean, at your normal, like, everyday theater, I mean, like, my theater, I've been to opening showings, I don't know, half a dozen times or more. The last couple Harry Potter films, Avengers, Age of Ultron, I think the first Avengers movie as well, like, where I went, like, opening night or the first full day, and they've never done assigned seating before, and now all of a sudden for Star Wars they allowed it, and it was like there was all sorts of problems with Fandango. I don't know if the problems I ran into were Fandango getting overloaded, or if it was an issue they were having with like my theater where they wouldn't load like the seating map. But I tried for like hours before I was finally able to secure 2 seats.
I think that everything kind of overloaded. We have assigned seating, and we have done for like a few years now. Most theaters have assigned seating, but the websites that I went on to get tickets all overloaded when Star Wars tickets went on sale.
I didn't even know they were going on sale. I think Stephanie said something to me about it, but but I was in Ohio. I had no cell phone service or anything, and then I drove home on Monday, the day they went on sale. So I wasn't on the internet like all day long because I was driving, and the drive took way longer than planned. And then I get home and I washed my face and got right in bed at maybe 8:39 at night. And I woke up the next morning and everybody's freaking out about Star Wars tickets. I'm like, wait, what? But thankfully I live in like a small city, so I was, worst case scenario, I think like I could have got non-assigned seats at like a 10:30 showing or something, but I
got midnight screening tickets, so I'm pretty excited. I went
so you're gonna be like the first one to see it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
What date are they? What date is it for? Midnight on
18th, is it? 17th, 18th?
The official day it comes out is the 18th.
So yeah, I think it's midnight on the 17th.
Like 17th into the 18th?
Yeah, into the 18th.
Okay. But that's still like 12 hours before we would get to see it, so.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I went to the midnight screening.
What time is it now? What time is it now where you are?
It is 10 to 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay. So I will be seeing it at so it's 9 o'clock p.m. here is 1 p.m. there. So 7 p.m. here is 11 a.m. So I'll be seeing it at 11 a.m. your time, like less than 12 hours after you see it.
Wow. It'll be exciting.
Stupid Australia and your
this is only a new thing. We used to get stuff like a week after or 2 weeks after and months after. Like back when they had to like send out fucking reels. Nowadays we get them before, and it's really exciting and it's new for us. So it's good. I'm just so excited. I mean, I remember I did the prequels, all of the midnight screenings. So I'm gonna do this one too, and it's exciting. And I feel I'm trying not to get my hopes up. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I know the feeling. It's like don't get excited. Don't get it. Oh, it's Star Wars.
I'm so excited. I'm failing at like keeping my expectations in check like so much. I'm like, no, I'm cool. It's fine. It doesn't even matter. It matters. It matters so much.
This is the last chance, really. Like if they suck now, then it's just done forever.
Well,
Gone forever. Goodbye forever.
I literally wept. I was like watching it going,
oh gosh. Yeah, I'm still like, I get chills like every time I watch that. Like hair stands up on my arm every time I watch a trailer for it. Even if I've watched the same trailer like 6 times before, because I've watched all of them. Still get chills. Yes,
I'm
dog.
so excited. I'm just I am feeling like I cannot verbalize my feelings. I have lost the ability to word.
We seem to be having that issue tonight.
Well, yeah, we haven't got feelings. See, this is why keyboard smashing is a thing for fangirls, okay? Because we just can't express the emotions that are happening inside of us.
My dog is very like my dog is very he hears me getting all messed up and he had to come join me. Yes, hello.
He's super excited. All right, guys, so we should move on to upcoming events because we're running out of time.
Oh, yeah.
What have we got coming up?
As always, Ice and FireCon tickets are still on sale. We're still at about like half availability in terms of tickets and rooms on property. And this is the only Song of Ice and Fire Game of Thrones themed convention in the US right now. We don't have actors or anything, but it's like camp for Game of Thrones people, fans, whatever. Like it's a blast.
You need to call up Kit Harington and be like, dude, you're not on the show anymore.
Yeah, he's got
what are you getting paid for?
Right? You can pay for a haircut in exchange.
it's like honestly, it's we're not for profit, and we don't have any money. Like we run at cost to keep things
So you
down.
can't even
But
afford
like
a haircut.
if someone wants to donate Kit Harington to our convention for a weekend, we won't say no. So anyway, tickets are $50 until the end of this year. As of January 1st, they'll go up to 60, and the convention is April 22nd through the 24th of next year. It's in Pembroke, Virginia, at Mountain Lake Lodge, which is actually also where they filmed parts of Dirty Dancing, which is interesting. So,
So exciting.
yeah.
Things. In Game of Thrones like cosplay.
I mean, there's already people talking about doing Game of Thrones like Dirty Dancing like combo costumes.
I need like a Game of Thrones Dirty Dancing crossover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, what else have we got happening in November?
Oh, November.
Not in November. Oh, well, okay.
Coming up in the future.
Okay, I will say, have you noticed an uptick in the SDCC hashtag this week? Oh, that is because, well, on my timeline there has been. So yeah, SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, pre-registration is just around the corner. Should be, it's probably going to be next Saturday, the 14th of November. But anyway, if you attended San Diego Comic-Con this year and you are eligible for pre-reg, then you might get your ticket very soon, which is very exciting because anytime I can talk about or look at or anything about San Diego Comic-Con, it's pretty exciting.
That is pretty exciting. I mean, I'm not going back, but it's pretty exciting for you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna apply as like a panelist again, but other than that, I'm not. If I can get in as a panelist, I'll go for a couple days, but that's it.
Hey, maybe I'll apply for a panel. Just a panel of Vaughn talking about feelings and shipping, probably. One Direction.
There were some panels about that at Comic-Con this year, so it could happen.
And One Direction. There's not enough One Direction.
And One Direction.
They were playing in San Diego at Comic-Con last year, so...
Yeah.
You could have a One Direction fanfic panel. It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing, C2E2 is coming up in March. I know it seems far away, but it's only like 4 months away. 4.5 months. Anyway,
honestly, like that's my next convention at this point.
Yeah, it's mine too. So
which
C2E2,
for me is like weird.
Yeah, it's in Chicago. It's really fun. It's like one of the top 5 largest comic conventions in the country, so you should definitely try to make it if you can. And you can hang out the day before C2E2 starts. It's St. Patrick's Day in Chicago. They dye the river green, so...
Oh, we're doing it. We're doing
it. With us.
I'm gonna save my pennies, nickels, and dimes and quarters so that we can like cab it and just have this amazing Chicago St. Patrick's Day. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that would be great. Your coverage of C2E2 will be fantastic, and you're just like in the toilet. So we can't move. Stuff is happening.
No, that's fine.
Sorry.
Shh. Fine.
Well, like obviously, my life at the moment is my sister's wedding, so I have nothing else. It's next weekend, so then I will be able to think about other things.
Congratulations, Vaughn's sister.
Yeah, congrats, Amber. You're gonna be a married woman. It's weird.
That is weird. Marriage, weird.
I know. Right? All right.
Over
it. People, November is happening. Everyone obviously wants to know what they should do in November, or what they should watch and read and stuff. What do we have recommendation-wise? Oh wait, that's me. I'm first.
Right.
Well, okay. I'm loving this season of Doctor Who, and I think everyone should watch it. I think it's been really good, and I just think it's one of the best seasons of Doctor Who since like season 5. So definitely go watch it. And the other thing is that you can join in watching the demise of the One Direction fandom, which is going to be great because one day have a new album coming out, but then they're going on hiatus, and everyone knows what happens when boy bands go on hiatus. They never
They
come
make
back.
babies and get so that they can't wear skinny jeans.
They make babies so that they can't wear skinny jeans. Well, one of them might already done that, but I don't know that they can't. Yeah, I don't know that they can't wear skinny jeans.
No, they're going to make their okay. I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, they're gonna gain weight. That's what I mean. So that they
They're
can't
gonna be
wear their
dad.
skinny jeans.
They're gonna have dad bod or whatever.
Dad.
Oh, that's
Is
so.
that what
Well,
it's
they will
called?
do because they're still really young. They haven't quite. When boys reach 25, they just kind of balloon.
Yeah, it goes downhill from 25.
They
Trust
haven't
me.
reached that yet, but we shall see what happens next year with the One Direction fandom. I, for one, am pretty excited to watch what happens.
We're just objectifying them so badly.
Sorry.
Okay.
I
I'm
try
sorry,
not to
Tara.
objectify
No.
them, okay?
It's just like funny because it's funny to hear like what men say about women like turned around.
I try not to because I feel bad because they're so young, but at the same time, I'm just a terrible person. I'm the worst.
But that's also really what happens when boy bands go on hiatus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There'll be that one who like breaks through and does his own thing. Who's it gonna be for One Direction, Vaughn?
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I hope that Harry continues on his fashion endeavors because his fashion choices are the excitement of my life.
He's adorable.
Yeah, I have honestly at the start of the year, at the beginning of this year, I legit thought that at least one of them would be dead by now because they were not good. But then Zayn left, and I think that seems to have and they're going on a break, and at the moment they seem relatively healthy, for boys with a hell of a lot of money and zero people telling them no. So I am trepidly excited, cautious that things will be okay, but I don't know. We shall see. The other thing I have is that you should read Carry On by Rebo Rao, which is the kind of fan fiction that was in Fangirl. It's essentially Harry Draco fanfic. It's just really good. And Jessica Jones starts on November 20. Well, is released on November 20. That's my November. Tara?
Yeah, I still need to watch Daredevil. So watch iZombie if you aren't. This season it's good. It's good. It's not as good as the first season so far, but that's just because I am super anti Liv and Major. But yeah, I still love iZombie, and because we're not the best about anime on the Geekiary, I wanted to point out that I have a couple anime recommendations. One is for Kuroko no Basket, and the other one is for Polar Bears Cafe. They're both on Crunchyroll. Polar Bears Cafe is basically finished for good forever. Kuroko no Basket, the main storyline is finished. There may be a movie or something in the future, but so yeah, there's those two, and I'm also going to be writing one for Soul Eater soon, which is also a complete show to watch. So they're all very good, and if you like anime and haven't, I don't know, even if you don't like anime, I never thought I liked anime, but these three shows changed my mind about that. So, just saying, that's about all.
Righto.
All right.
Erin?
Hemlock Grove is back on Netflix, season 3. Yay! It is my favorite guilty pleasure campy horror weirdness show. So it's good, but unfortunately, it is the final season, which is sad. But I have not watched it yet. I just haven't had time. But hopefully this weekend, I can get it all, get all through
Awesome.
it. So.
Awesome.
And then also, I recommended this before, but *Halt and Catch Fire*. You should watch it. It got renewed for season 3. Yes, it's a miracle because really, I didn't think it was going to get renewed. So, thankfully, Lee Pace is employed for another season.
Well, employing Lee Pace and putting him on our screen is just a good thing in all things, really.
Agreed.
Excellent. All right, so it's time for our question, which I've written, and I don't know if it makes sense, but I'm hoping it does. It says, if you could bring back any of your previous fandoms, like which one would you revive?
NSYNC.
NSYNC,
I'm like
really?
the worst. Yeah, why? Is that a fandom?
Oh, I know. It's a
I guess it is.
Yeah.
it's the boy band fandoms. The bomb.
Okay. Listen to this.
I think I was in this like really weird time frame where like I was slightly too young to really be like, yes, I am super sexually attracted to these people, but also like a little bit too old to be like so in love with their music, and I don't know. I like NSYNC.
Okay, well, NSYNC, I was big into their fandom when I was 16 years old. My two friends and I had like this really huge email list that had like 3,000 subscribers. It was amazing. Wow. And that was in 1999. So there you go.
Wow, you were like full-on big-name fan in NSYNC fandom.
Yeah, it was pretty big time. Offline, I'll have to tell you some stories, but yeah, that is the fandom that I do miss the most.
Yeah, I obviously have a thing for boy band fandoms. I was a Backstreet Boys, so I guess I'm your enemy. But,
oh no, I liked Backstreet Boys too.
But my main fandom when I was young was Hanson.
Oh yeah.
I was like super into the Hanson fandom. Oh, good times though.
I just didn't know these were things. Like I didn't have internet till I was like a senior in high school. Don't blame me. Seriously.
All right, well, if I was bringing back, my fandom would be The Princess Diaries, which kind of came back again this year because a new book was released. But yeah, no, I was like super into this fandom when I was like, I think I was about 19 or something, but I was heavily like super into it. I loved it so much. I wrote like so much fanfic. I'm never ever going to tell you what my pen name was, but there was like hundreds and hundreds of fanfics on fanfiction.net of The Princess Diaries.
It's fine. I didn't write hundreds and hundreds of fanfics, but I wrote some about things, and I will never tell anybody what my pen name was. Ever.
But I loved that fandom. I had so much fun. Ship wars were great in that fandom.
Oh Lord, were the books good? Like I've only ever seen the movies. I liked both of them.
The books was the what I loved. Yeah, I liked the movies, but the books were my one true love. I just loved it. She's like this awesome feminist vegetarian princess.
So anyway, my answer is like it's like. It doesn't make any sense because like X-Files would be my first answer and Gilmore Girls would be my second.
And they're both coming back.
But like legitimately, those would be the two I'm super excited. X-Files in January, Gilmore Girls preferably sooner rather than later. I just started rewatching the series because nothing makes me feel better like Gilmore Girls does.
Yeah, Gilmore Girls is amazing. I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm also like really worried about how much this new thing is going to fuck with my like really, really heavily established and thought out headcanons for what happens post Gilmore Girls.
See, I like never really thought about it because I hated the last season like so much.
Yeah. The last season was
hate isn't the right word. I didn't like the last season. And like I I no longer cared what happened to like any of the characters because they weren't the characters I had fallen in love with anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I'm very open to
the
it.
second. I don't like the last season, and they definitely jumped the shark and went like way just everything that happened after Luke got a daughter. I pretty much
Yeah.
just. But at the same time, like I worked all of that into. I have like, and I have obviously have like heaps of fangirl friends, and we have a lot of very serious discussions about what happened after Gilmore Girls ended. And now I'm gonna get like things that are gonna happen, and I'll be like, okay, like this is good. I'm really excited that there's more things, but at the same time, that's not what I thought was gonna happen.
I think I'm mostly worried about how they're going to handle the fact that Edward Herman isn't Herman. Is that? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but
I think that's right.
yeah, that he's passed away. You know, like I'm sad that like they did this so late that they missed that.
I don't
You
think
know what I
that
mean? Like
that will be. I mean, I'm really upset that that Suki won't come back.
you don't. Has that been announced?
I'm pretty sure she's not coming back. I think I saw an article. I mean, I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't think anyone knows. I think I saw that.
See, most of everything that I saw was like, will she, won't she? She probably won't because she's, you know, she's more A-list now or like high B-list, whatever, like. But I don't know, like I would hope, I mean, come on, like that was Melissa McCarthy for years. That's all anybody knew of her.
Yeah.
Like for her to shun that like a small, like what is it going to be, 6 episodes or something? 4 episodes?
I mean, I hope that she will at least like do a cameo. Like that's all I would expect from her.
Right. But
yeah.
like to like completely shun it is kind of like.
I guess it just depends on like her schedule.
You wouldn't have worked for 7 years if you weren't in this show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm excited. I'm obviously really excited. But yeah, I mean.
I'm just really excited to see Stars Hollow again because I just love that like fake version of Connecticut that Hollywood thinks exists. I mean, I'm from Connecticut, and honestly, my hometown, Google it, I am from Ellington, Connecticut, looks almost exactly like Stars Hollow. We have a town square with a gazebo in the middle and a little white congregational church and like beautiful fall foliage, and all the houses like around the town square and through like a big portion of the town are these old houses from like the 1700s. Like it's beautiful, and it's the same type of town that Stars Hollow was, where there was like an internal government or whatever. I can't remember the name for it, but like very, very small town in central Connecticut and really pretty. And I just like, it's just so funny to watch that show and see so much of like, oh, this is like so much like my hometown. But then also they're walking around in February with like scarves and light jackets, and there are leaves on the trees and no snow on the ground. And it's like, what are you doing? I think the episode I watched earlier today, Rory like walks outside in a sleeveless dress in like December, like it's no big deal. That's hilarious.
That is not
like,
real life.
No.
Maybe in Australia.
But yeah, the episodes where they're wearing like little wool pea coats and like a cute scarf and like no gloves, and they're just strolling around downtown Stars Hollow like it's no big deal. Like, let's walk a mile to Luke's Diner in January or February. No.
You would get frostbite in like 5 minutes. So.
And you'd probably also be trudging through like 2 feet of snow.
I'm never going there.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. It's 9:15.
Yeah, we went a little over. Just as kind of a side note, I think our plan we were a week late this week, and with the holidays coming up, I think we are planning on pushing everything back a week for the next couple months. So
yeah, so it'll be instead of doing it on Thanksgiving, it'll be the first Thursday of December. Instead of doing it on New Year's Eve, it's going to be the first Thursday in January. But then I think we'll go back to our regular last Thursday of the month.
So yeah, first Thursday of the month for at least the next 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
just works out a little better. Yeah.
I'm sure people will just be so into that. I have no idea.
Depressed that they can't watch our webcast on New Year's Eve.
No. All right.
Yeah.
Shall we end?
Yeah, I'll close it out. I'm Erin. I'm here with Tara and Vaughn. Thanks for joining us a week late for Feelings with the Geekiary. Thank you. Remember, we're a free webcast run off of donations from viewers like you. And thanks for contributing and helping our host site, the Geekiary. See you next month.
Bye.
Bye.